Like many of my clients, I've gone through and experienced what a client suffering catastrophic injuries would. I've spent a long time in hospital. I have ongoing hospital consultations. I've had a lengthy rehabilitation period. I've faced uncertainty and vulnerability. My name's Hema. I'm a solicitor and I work at Anthony Gold Solicitors as an associate solicitor. When I first found out I was pregnant, I was obviously extremely happy. It was my journey into starting a family. I had just purchased my first home the year before, and I felt that my life journey, as it were, was moving along nicely. And then everything changed. All of a sudden, I experienced excruciating cramps down both of my legs. My brain wasn't registering of how to stand up, and however much I tried to get myself up, the muscles wouldn't respond. I was informed that it may be pregnancy-related sciatica. I think it was the following day or the day after when alarm bells for me started ringing. I wasn't getting any better. An urgent decision was made to blue light me to hospital. I thought I was in a horrible dream. It was almost as if my life was just being turned upside down. I was so dehydrated, they couldn't draw any blood from me, and immediately underwent an MRI scan. Ultimately having to sign these consent forms and being told that the MRI could be dangerous to the health of my unborn child. I just remember lying there in the MRI scan thinking, gosh, what is happening? And it was at that point a neurosurgeon came to see us in the cubicle and said that they were suspecting that a tumour had ruptured in my spine. I was also told that it was very likely that my baby wouldn't survive and the pregnancy wouldn't be viable. For me, that was the most awful thing. The worst outcome for me was losing my child. This was a very niche situation. And then the neurosurgeon told me that I could either just be discharged and nothing would be done, or the second option was that I have a laminectomy. With that, there were tremendous risks involved because they were going to go very near my spinal cord. So thankfully, the laminectomy was a success.
I spent over 4 months of my pregnancy in hospital.
I didn't expect pregnancy to be like this at all. In my mind, I had this glorious image of having like a baby shower, going on shopping trips, going to antenatal classes with my husband, just enjoying the pregnancy. But I had none of that. I had to wheel myself to my maternity appointment and I wanted to be able to walk again. At this point, I had my first scan. I got to see the scan photos of my healthy baby, and that made me understand and think that actually I have got a good chance at fighting this. I think that was my starting point of thinking, right, I'm going to fight back and I've got a good chance of walking. I think it was the point that I gave birth. That's when I thought I could breathe. It was over. She was safe in my hands and she was a healthy baby. I knew I was going to need a lot of support to raise my baby. It was little things that I would think about, such as, am I going to be able to ever run again? Am I going to be able to play in the garden with my child? Am I ever going to be able to go back to work again? It made me feel quite vulnerable, scared, not knowing what the future holds for me. I wanted to just have a good quality of life.
Going back to work for me was one of my goals that I felt that I achieved.
And like my clients, I've had to adapt the way I live because of my injury.
I feel like I'm able to have an open conversation and also to provide them insight and to also remind them that they're human and they are allowed to have emotions and they don't have to explain themselves or seek justification for the way they're feeling. So my hope is to inspire my clients, to show them I have been through a journey that may be similar to theirs, but for them to see how, with the right support and rehabilitation, there is a good quality of life. The journey hasn't been an easy ride for me, but the end product is my beautiful family, and for that, I'm grateful.